You are Black in the Green Room with me, your host, Keith Underwood. And this is your spot for real talk about entertainment with entertainers, creatives, and showbiz professionals. Joining me in the room today is singer and actress Shanice, and you know her from hits like I Love Your Smile, and now she is portraying Michelle Obama in the soon-to-be hit Play 44. Shanice, welcome to the room.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm excited about this run. We're going to be in Culver City at the Kirk Douglas Theater, and we started. I started out with the show like 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and we started at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood, California, and we did really well there. We had so many celebrities come out to support, and we had Stevie Wonder, Martin Lawrence, Wanda Sykes. I mean, we had so many celebrities, and all the feedback was positive, and I'm just super excited. I was so nervous when I got the phone call. Kerry Gordy, who is Barry Gordy's son, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, how would you like to play Michelle Obama?" And I'm like, "Me, Michelle Obama? What?" Um, I was super excited, but I was nervous at the same time because I was like, "Okay, can I pull this off? Do I have to imitate her or?" And I took the pressure off of myself by just saying, you know what, we have a lot in common. Like, I'm a wife, I'm a mother.
Hmm.
So she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a strong woman, I'm a strong woman. So I had just had to tap into that, and it actually worked. So thank God. But
So,
go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, Shanice, so tell me about, your approach to the role because this is a satire, but how do you play someone as iconic as Michelle Obama and being true to her, but still, being true to the source material of 44?
Yeah, I just had to. I mean, first of all, I love her as a human being. I think she is just. I look up to her, and I just love her class.
Hmm.
And when they were in the White House, they kept it classy the whole time, even after they left the White House. They're just so. I just love the class that they bring, and I just love how she loves on her husband and
Hmm.
supports him. How she's a wonderful mom, and I just kind of had to think about those things, and I'm pretty similar in that sense. So that's how I was able to pull it off.
Right, right, right. And so tell me a little bit about the approach that you guys are taking to 44 to tell their story.
You know what? It is a satire, but it's going to take you on an emotional roller coaster ride because it's going to make
Hmm.
you want to dance, sing, cry, laugh. And I feel like right now, with the way the world, is going right now, there's so much chaos going on. And I feel like this show is needed today because we need something to uplift our spirits. And I love that it shows, like with Barack and Michelle, the more human side,
Hmm. Hmm.
like how, they're, I'm sure there's still romance in their marriage. So in the White House, it kind of shows, the more like romantic side of
Hmm.
Barack and Michelle that we don't get to see publicly. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Who's playing your Barack, Shanice?
TJ Wilkins is Barack. And he was on the Voice. He was a contestant on The Voice, and when I tell you, that's how he's the reason why. Part of the reason why I'm in the show is because when they asked me to do it, they showed me a presentation of it, and TJ was singing, and I knew TJ before the show, before I did the show, and I said, okay, if they have TJ playing Barack, count me in because his voice is amazing. So once
Right.
I heard that he was doing it, I said, okay, I want to do it too.
Right, right, right. And what's special about you guys' chemistry that captures that essence of Barack and Michelle?
The chemistry that we have. Um, Maybe we have chemistry because we've known each other for a long time.
Mm.
and I think that helps knowing him. He wasn't a stranger, and he's actually engaged to my cousin, which is
Really?
funny.
Oh, wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, but I think it helps, because I'm a really shy person naturally.
Yes.
So, being with him and just knowing him prior, I think that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does, being a shy person by nature, how do you perform the way that you do, not only with acting, but then also with singing?
Um, you know what? I'm shy off stage, but then once they say action, it's
Yes.
like I can't run off the stage. I gotta, I don't know. It's just once I get on stage, I'm okay. It's before I have to sing, I'm really nervous. But once I sing that first note, it kind of all goes away. And I can't explain why that happens, but it does. It does.
Yeah, I hear you.
Dropping, I love color hoodies, fly like soundtracks, 8 tracks, taking it back to LPs, that's a flashback. I lay down fashion on these streets like Beverly Hill asphalt. Got everyone driving clean, they can't help but feel the vibes. It's a full assault. I'm from the East Coast where the rap game is gritty, spitting lyrics so raw they hit hard like the streets.
Shanice, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here
Thank you so much. So it's going to be at the Kirk Douglas in Culver City.
in Culver City. We start on the 23rd to March February into March 23rd. And I want to just give a shout out to Eli Bauman. He's the one that created it, directed it, and I just think he's a genius. He's a
Yeah. What is it about his style that really, drew you to the script and the story?
um like I said, I love the comedy that he
Mhm.
added to it because when you think about, because first of all, when they mentioned me during the show, when it comes to politics, like
Hmm.
I don't know if I want to do anything about politics because people have their debates and then it always ends like in a people get mad if you don't agree with them and this
Hmm.
that, and I was like I don't want to be in the middle of that. So
Right.
I love that it doesn't show like it's not one side. It's not like we're
Hmm.
bashing Republicans or bashing Democrats or it's people are gonna you can watch the show if you're a Democrat or Republican and still love it. And I love that
Yes.
about it. It made that made me feel safe.
Mm.
And I love that he added like there's like a gospel element. Like you can hear the gospel influence in it, and you can hear there's some rap and you hear rock and you hear R&B. Like we have a little bit of the Motown sound in it, and
Yeah.
so it's a little bit for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
So with all of those different genres of music, what's the energy like of the show?
Oh my gosh, the energy is it's going to I've had people say, I actually had somebody say, I have ADHD and I cannot sit still. I'm serious. But they said with this show, it caught my attention the whole time.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow. I've had people tell me, I've been to the show like 10 times. I keep coming back and I keep bringing friends. And I'm like, that's great. So it's something about the show that draws people in and, you can't watch it once. And
Right,
every
right.
time you see the show, you're going to notice something different. Like
Interesting.
my mom said that. She said, I've seen the show over and over again. And every time I see it, I notice something different every time.
Hmm.
So it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, outside of it, like, not playing up to any real politics, as far as, Republicans, Democrats in the show, were the producers at all worried about any backlash with the current, political climate?
No, because we're really talking about it's really telling like Barack's story.
Mm.
Was so the world was different. The world was different then.
Right,
So
right,
the
right.
story we're telling now has nothing to do with what's going on today.
Yeah. In what ways? Tell me.
Well, I mean, it's talking about, you know, when Barack was running for president and when he
Hmm.
became president. And I just feel like in the world, it was just a happier time during.
Yes. Yeah. Shanice, what throughout your career, as a singer and as an actress, what are some points over that time that really prepared you for this role?
Well, you know what? A lot of people don't know this, but I actually started in theater.
Mm,
When I was 8 years old, Chip Fields, who is Kim Fields' mom, she taught me how to act. I went to this school called Inner City in Los Angeles,
yes.
and Chip was the acting coach there, and she worked with me on my acting, and then she created a play, and she put me on stage for the first time when I was 8 years old with Kim Fields, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Teresa Randall, uh, Ren Brown, my friend Sean Earl, who was in Rent on Broadway, and we were all in the show together back then. And so I did that. I also did Les Miserables on Broadway. I was the first.
Wow.
I was the first African American to play Eponine in Les Mis.
And that was after you began your singing
Yeah,
career.
now that
Yes.
happened later. That was like
Yes.
after I Love Your Smile.
Yes.
So I love theater. I've been doing theater since I was a kid.
Yeah. And then Shanice, how did you transition from starting out in the theater to being a recording artist?
Well, so my mom got me an agent, and I started going out on auditions. So I did commercials. I did my very first audition. I did was a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial with Ella Fitzgerald. I got to
Nice.
scat with her when I was like 9 years old in a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. So I started doing, commercials, and then I won Star Search. I auditioned
Okay.
Star Search, won on Star Search, and then I did another musical called Get Happy. The musical was about the music of Harold Arlen, who wrote all the Wizard of Oz songs, and John McClane, who is the executive at A&M Records at the time, heard me singing when I was 11 years old. He heard me singing in this musical and signed me to A&M Records when I was 11 years old. So that's how I got my record deal. I was singing in a musical.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
what did you love most about the recording industry and what did you hate most about it?
Um, I loved when I was on Motown and A&M, I loved the support that I got from the label.
Mm,
Back then, it's like back in the 90s, the record companies used to stay, they used to really push their artists and spend the proper money. And one thing I miss people going to the record store and actually buying the
mm,
records. I don't like that people can just download stuff for free, because that's how we make, our money.
right,
And
absolutely.
but so people aren't really selling records like we used to sell like in the 90s and the 80s and stuff like that.
Yeah. What was kind of like video culture like back then? I mean, it was really just starting to take off, especially for Black folks around that time period. What was it like for you?
Oh, I used to love doing music videos. That was my favorite. Because I feel like you can hear a song and you may not understand it at first, but then
Right.
when you see the video, you're like, oh, I get it. I love it. I love it. It kind of helps, like, tell the story, and it helps sell the song, basically.
Hmm.
So I used to love, like, I love, great glam. Like, I love hair and makeup and wardrobe, and I just loved all of that.
Yeah. I guess this also plays into your background in theater. You get a chance to, like you said, get all the glam and dressed up and then perform. So what is it? So then what's some of the major differences between, performing in the theater live versus performing as a recording artist on stage?
Uh, so when you're doing theater, there's no room for mistakes.
Mm.
Like if you do make a mistake, you have to keep moving.
Right.
Like you can't say, "Oh, let me do it again."
Right,
Like
right, right.
you got one chance to get it right. So that part is, could be a little challenging. But when I'm on stage singing my own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much have control. Like if I want to switch something up or do something different or whatever, I have the freedom to just sing however I want to sing. But when you're in a musical, you got to kind of stick with the script, and so if you forget a line or something like that, you just have to keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How much has your theater background helped you in your live performances when singing?
It's helped me a lot because, to be honest with you, when you're on stage, when you're performing, it's kind of sort of like acting,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Who
like
who's
I
the
said,
who's the character, Shanice, that's
like
in
I
your
said,
head?
I don't have a character name or anything.
Yeah.
I really don't. But when I'm off stage, like I said, I'm really shy. So when
Yes.
I'm on stage, I really have to become this this character.
Right.
So it is kind of sort of like acting, but I'm also true to myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pretending to be anyone. Like I'm just being myself, but I do have to to get out of my shyness. I do have to I don't know, become this. I have to
This
act to get out there.
right. And it's just another side of you maybe that you don't tap
This is
into.
another side of me. Yeah,
Exactly, that you get to
exactly.
show to the forefront to your fans and to the audience.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and Shanice, with your music career, what are some of the things that you want to do moving forward that you haven't done yet?
Things that I haven't done. Um, well, I'm getting back in the studio, so I'm gonna put out another album. I'm excited about that.
Good.
But something that I haven't done, um, I would love to be in a feature film,
Ah,
be on the big screen and do some, more acting, definitely more touring. I would love to write for other artists because I love songwriting.
mm,
If you look on the credits on majority of my songs, I've co-written on a lot of my songs. So I would love to write for other artists, and then eventually I would love to maybe help develop artists and put them out there as well.
yeah. Why
My
is
kids, my kids, actually they'll probably be the first ones that I work with because my kids, they both sing, they both love music. I have a daughter and a son, and they both love to write and sing and produce and stuff.
Yeah, what would you share with them about, well, what do you share with them about the business? What do you want them to know about like the highs and lows of it?
Well, I like them. What I tell them is, the business, you have to have the right people around you
Mm-hmm.
because it could be really wicked, you know.
Right, right,
And
right.
I was blessed because my mom was there, my family, my grandmother used to travel with me, my aunt, I always had my family around me.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of kept all the negativity away from me, was a blessing. And I'm sure that's how I'm going to be with my kids. I'm going to be
Yes.
like, if they want to do this, they can do it, but we're going to be super protective.
Right, right.
So and then what else? I just want to tell my kids to just stay true to who they are. Don't
Mm-hmm.
try to follow the fads. If everybody's doing one thing, don't try to just copy what everybody else is doing. Just
Mm-hmm.
stay true to who you are.
Yeah. Who are some of the people that they admire right now that you kind of see them could mold themselves after that? You're like, okay, but be yourself.
Yeah, my daughter loves Ariana Grande.
Yes.
That's her favorite. And my son, he likes The Weeknd.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, nice, nice. And then so why is it, especially from your own experiences, Shanice, why is it important for you now to want to help to develop other artists? What do you think that you can offer them other than your experience in music?
What could I offer other artists? I guess I could just give them like I can help with artist development.
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's what's missing. Like a lot of the labels, they just throw the acts out there. You know,
Right.
I was on Motown. You know, they actually like they helped develop me. You know, as far
Yes.
even doing interviews, I was super shy about doing an interview, so they had to bring in an interviewing coach to like work with me because I was like so shy. They would ask me a question, I'd say yes, no, yeah, okay. You know, I just, you know, and so they worked, they made sure they brought in someone to help me with the interviews,
Hmm.
you know, made sure that I looked a certain way, you know, and I feel like nowadays labels aren't doing that. They're just kind of throwing people out there and to see what,
Hmm.
you know, what sticks or
Yes.
and if you got enough followers on Instagram or, you know, um, but I would love to like work with them on artist development and, you know, and then, you know, teaching them like what I teach my kids about
Hmm.
around the right people. And because I mean, I'm seeing kids out there, you know, doing drugs and having nervous breakdowns,
Yes.
you know, stuff like that. I look at Britney Spears and it makes me so sad.
Mm. Hmm.
So if I can help kids, you know, to prevent going down that road, I would love to do that.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she runs a theater company for young people, here. And she
Mhm.
was talking about some of the young people that she worked with and then seeing, them move on to have successful careers. But she did say one of the things that she found with the ones that were successful is that their parents or their families were very much so involved in their careers. Why
Mhm.
why do you think why do you think that's still important today?
Well, I want to say this. First of all, labels don't like that. They don't like when
How
uh,
come, Shanice?
they don't like when because they can't control you. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
you know so I by because I had my family with me, it was a blessing for me, and it was great protection. But at the same time, the labels, they want to they want to control everything, and if they feel like they can't control you, then they have a problem with that. um so yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Dropping our love color hoodies, fly like soundtracks, 8 tracks, taking it back to LPs, that's a flashback. I lay down fashion on these streets like Beverly Hill asphalt. Got everyone driving clean, they can't help but feel the vibes. It's a full of soul. I'm from the East Coast where the rap game is gritty, spitting lyrics so hard it hit hard like the
Shanice, if and it sounds like you might be interested in having a label, in the future. What would be different about your label from what we traditionally know?
what would be different if I had a label? Like I said earlier, like I would have artist development involved. Like I would have, you know, somebody to like help develop the artist, work with them on singing. I used to, when I was signed to A&M Records, they brought in Seth Riggs, and I used to take vocal,
Mm,
you know, with Seth Riggs, who taught Mike. He used to work with Michael Jackson, everybody. He was the best. But you know, I would bring in a great vocal coach, um, put him in dance classes because
hmm.
when you perform, you got to know how to move, you know,
That's
on
right. That's
stage,
right.
right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, my mom kept me in dance class, vocal class, acting. All of that is important. It all works together.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'd bring in, you know, great, you know, the best stylists and hair and makeup and all of that. And like I said earlier, I would teach them about how important it is to have the right people in your camp
Hmm.
and stay away from drugs.
Yes, 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 yes,
Stay
yes.
away from drugs.
And it just amazes me. Like sometimes I see like some kids that are just, they seem very pure and wholesome. And I just sometimes I wonder how and when that transition happens. And if they had, someone like you around them or in their lives, how different,
Yeah.
they might be today.
Yeah, I think it's about having the right, like I said, is having the right people around
Hmm.
you to protect you from that. And I was blessed to have that. and I'm so thankful.
Yeah. Yeah, Shanice, how do you balance, it all? And if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you took a break from entertainment for a second to focus on your family. How do you balance all of that?
Well, I did have a family, but I didn't take a break because I wanted to stop singing. When I was signed to the last label I was with, when they found out I was pregnant, they let me go because I was pregnant. Like I literally was in the studio recording, and then the moment they found out I was pregnant, they're like, we're gonna let you be a mom for a while. And I'm like, but I'm like, nobody's gonna see me. I'm just gonna be recording. Nobody's gonna see me. And then I got a phone call. We're gonna let you go. And
Wow.
so it wasn't because I was like, I'm gonna stop singing and just have my family. Like, no, I wanted to do both.
Yes.
And that's how that happened. So I went through like depression. I was
Hmm.
really sad about it. And then I would get on YouTube, and I had this one fan that would just go really hard for me, like was like posting like my all my performances and my videos. And I said, you know what? If my fans still want to hear me sing,
Hmm.
forget about the label. And so in 2006, I started my own label. Actually, I did have my own label.
Yes.
I didn't sign other acts. It was just for me to put my record out. But I started my own company, and it did. I put out the album called Every Woman Dreams,
Hmm.
and we actually, for it to be as independent as it was, we did really well on the charts with it. And so I'm very proud of that project. And so about 2000, that was like 2006, 2007. I did that, and I've been independent ever since.
Yeah. What do you love most about being independent? And then what are some of the challenges of being independent?
What I love most about being independent is I pretty much have the control to.
Hmm.
I love that. Um, I love that I can get on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and I can reach the fans directly and say, "Hey, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that?" Back in the day, we couldn't do that. We had to
Right.
see what the record company tells us. What do you think the fans are thinking? Or, but now we can, like, I love that I can like talk directly to the fans. And that's the best part about being independent. The hardest part about being independent is financially everything is on everything is on you.
Ain't that the truth?
But I can't talk about it now, but I'm working on something that's going to be really huge, and it has to do with my music. So just stay tuned.
Okay, yeah.
Super
And
excited.
and Shanice, what's it like working with or having a spouse that's also in the industry? What is that like? How do you guys support each other and lift each other up?
No, it actually works really well for us because he's in the industry and I'm in the industry. We both get it. We both understand each other. So when I have to leave to go work, he's like, cheering me on. And when he has to go work,
Mm,
I'm cheering him on, you know. I think if I been with somebody that wasn't in the industry,
hmm.
um, they wouldn't understand like when I have to leave for work and when so I think it would be harder being with someone that's not in industry, for me. But for us, we just celebrated 25 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And
Yes.
it's working out. It works pretty well for us because we get it. We both understand.
Yeah, and from what we've been able to see on the surface, it does. I mean, that love just looks so real and so supportive. And I think a lot of people have, hashtagged you guys as couple goals on
Oh,
social media. Yeah, so that's a very good thing. Shanice, I know earlier you said that you would love to do a film. What kind of film would you like to do? What would be, or what kind of film would you produce?
um, it would be a drama, I think. And then I would love to play because everybody, I know everybody, I'm known for I love your smile, and everybody's used to me being happy go lucky and I'm smiling all
Yeah.
the time. But I would love to play a character that is just like I would love to be like the villain, you know? Like I would love
Yeah.
to play something that people wouldn't expect. You
Yeah. And that's again, I would just be bringing maybe another part of your personality to the forefront,
know? Yeah,
that one that you might have to turn on every now and then.
right. Exactly.
And just bringing that out to the up to the forefront. You made me think about Yolanda Adams and her role
Yeah,
in one of these TV
love
shows
her.
she's doing now. And
I
and
love
and
her.
nobody would have ever thought. So I mean, I
Right.
can totally see you doing something like that and enjoying it.
That's
What
right.
are what are some other things that you can tell us about 44 without giving too much away that audiences are just going to love and enjoy?
I don't want to give too much away, but I want to tell you that our entire cast is amazing. Like we have a wonderful cast. So you're going to hear some great singing. You're going to laugh. There's a couple of tear jerkers. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, it's really good. You're going to walk. First of all, the songs are so catchy that you're going to be walking to your car afterwards, still singing the songs. You're not going to be able to get the songs out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, the songs are really, really catchy.
Yeah.
And our band is, I love our band, our musical director, Brew. He's a genius as well. And yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to be disappointed. And I guarantee you, when you see the show, you're going to want to come back and bring all of your friends.
Yeah,
'Cause
okay. Okay.
it's really good.
What's the art direction like? I'm just trying to picture it. What's it like?
I don't want to tell you, but it's beautiful. Like it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The stage we have is beautiful. The wardrobe, it's really, really good.
Yeah. And is there like in every play, there's always a showstopper number, usually somewhere in the first act or leading into the second act. Do we have one in this play? And is it yours?
I think all the shows, I mean I think all the songs are like a showstopper. But the very last song, the finale song, is the song that you're not gonna stop singing. You're gonna be singing that like probably for the next couple of weeks. It's really, really that catchy. It's catchy.
Yeah. Shanice, tell us again where audiences can find tickets for 44 and then also where it's going to be playing at.
So go to 44obamamusical.com and get your tickets. We're going to be in Culver City at the Kirk Douglas Theater. And I believe our shows, you got to look on the website, but sometimes it starts at 7, sometimes 7:30. So,
Yeah. And when does the run begin?
the 23rd.
The 23rd of this month.
This month. So it's
Of
coming
this
up this
month.
weekend. Yeah, we start
Yes.
right away this weekend until March 23rd.
Yeah. And then Shanice, where can everybody find you on social media to keep up with everything that you're doing and all of your new music and movies and things?
I love Instagram, so I'm always on Instagram, Shanice Online. I love TikTok, Shanice Online, and Facebook, Shanice Wilson. Or I have two Facebook pages. There's Shanice and there's a Shanice Wilson. And let's see what else is there. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Oh, right. Shanice, thank you so much for sharing, this information about 44, but more importantly, also importantly, sharing stories from your life and from your experiences. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for having me. And I couldn't do what I love to do without your support. So your support means everything to me.
Your life and Be from sure your to follow experience. me, Keith Underwood, at Mr. Keith L. Underwood on IG.
So
You can
your
also follow
support
me on FB at Keith L. Underwood. And you got to follow Black
means
in the Green
everything to
Room
me.
at
So
life and from Black your in the Green experience. Room across all platforms. Until next time, this has
your
been
support means
Black in the Green Room.